Here we are. Okay, Marni, we are live.
Hey, Kelly, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about you? How was your Christmas holidays?
Oh, it was wonderful. Well, I live on a Caribbean island, so every day is,
Oh, lucky you.
yeah.
That's awesome. What island do you live on?
I'm on St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Oh, excellent. I actually have a friend that lives there also.
Okay,
So,
well, we'll have to talk. Yeah,
yeah, after the interview, I'll definitely connect you with her because she's awesome lady. You'll just love her. So,
wonderful,
great.
wonderful.
Okay, so today we are going to talk about the Blue Talks book.
Yeah, yes.
So this is book one, but now we're launching book two and book three. And so, what version are you in? Are you in two or three?
I am in volume two, but I just purchased the whole set as well, and I've encouraged a lot of my friends to purchase the complete series.
I know, right? Because I have a feeling this is going to be like chicken soup for the soul, where there's like hundreds and hundreds of volumes, and so it'd be really sweet to collect all three and keep up with it, right? So
Right, right. They're
yeah.
all wonderful. The stories are just fantastic. The blue, as you know, and every your listeners know, stands for business, life, and universe. So the people that contribute to the book have such a wide variety of topics. It's so interesting.
It is. That's what I love about it. When Corey approached me about working with him on it, it was like, I love the idea because
Yeah.
I love how there's such a variety of stories. And it's just like Corey said, it's like chicken soup for the soul meets TEDx.
Right, right.
So cool. So let's talk about your story because that's what we're all about today. We want to talk about your story and why did you want to be a part of the Blue Talk book, right? Like,
Well, I've had success with a spiritual fiction that I wrote called God Came to My Garage Sale. And in fact, it just won a Best Books Award with the American Book Fest. And
oh my God,
yeah,
congratulations. That's
thank you. And
awesome.
actually, it was endorsed by James Redfield, who wrote the Celestine
That is
Prophecy.
talented prophecy. Yep. Love
Right.
it.
So I follow James Redfield, of course, and came across a post he had where he was being interviewed by Corey. And I had never met Corey. And I was, listening to the interview and that really prompted me to buy Corey's amazing book um, about the why, asking about
Yep.
the and
I
and then
have,
I connected with Corey. Yeah, you probably have the book right there at your fingertips.
I do. I'm trying to find it. Actually, I also have James' books right here to sell.
Yeah. Well, actually, James Redfield has a number of books in the complete
Right.
series. There's a lot of books, but anyway, I was fortunate enough to meet James Redfield, and he normally doesn't endorse people readily, and but he took a liking to my book and what my message had to say about taking life's challenges and handling them with love and peace. And that's what I'm all about. And so James endorsed my book and then connected me indirectly with Corey. And then I was already involved in a few other anthology books where there are a number of contributors.
Right.
Uh, I'm in the evolution of Echo. That's about surviving narcissist abuse, and I've got an anonymous essay. Back then, it was anonymous, but it's I'm part of that. I'm also in the Last Breath, which is a wonderful compilation book, mostly of psychic mediums, but definitely talking about spirituality. So I've contributed a chapter there. I'm actually, and through Corey, I met Deb Dashinger, and I'm actually part of her ultimate book for dog lovers. And I'm telling a tale of a friend of mine and her dog. And that's called Doggy Divorce, and it's from a dog's perspective. And so then because I was involved in these anthology books, I definitely wanted to be a part of Blue Talks. And Corey and I connected, and it just seemed to be a very good fit. And so here I am. I'm in volume two.
That's excellent. Yeah. So if you're just joining us, we're talking about the Blue Talks book that Corey Poirier is the compiler. And so he's gathered together, I think there's about 30 authors in the first one.
Right.
And I'm actually in the first one. And I think about 30 in the second. And then there's about 40 in the third. So
Right.
right now we are launching book 2 and 3 at the same time. And so I
Right.
wanted to chat with Dr. Marni about, her journey and why she wanted to be part of the bLU Talk book. And can you give us a teaser about what your story is about?
Sure. Well, the title is My Spiritual Journey from Devout Atheist to Unwavering Believer.
Wow. That
So,
sounds
so
exciting.
more on the life and universe side, not the business side. But I write about, and it's even though like my spiritual novel is a fiction. God came to my garage sale. All the other work that I have done is all nonfiction. It's all true. So I actually write a story about growing up atheist, and not having much exposure to religion or spirituality, even though I had a beautiful foundation with my loving parents, um, as far as humanity and goodness and honesty and love of your fellow human beings, and an appreciation for nature. That was definitely all instilled in my growing up, but I had very limited exposure to religion or spirituality and found that on my own. And um, basically when I was in college, and pursued it, later on in my life. I I actually I was married for 27 years, and my ex-husband was Catholic, and I really wanted our family to be united. Um, Little did I know I was dealing with a very dishonest person.
Okay.
But at the time, that's what I wanted to do, was to unite our family. And so I became Catholic and even became a lector in the church for, I don't know, a number of years, 6 or 7 years. But it wasn't until I had some traumatic, life-changing events that I really found spirituality. And I think, when you hear other people's accounts, if you hear near death experiencers, or if you hear people that have had, traumatic events in their lives, lots of times that will open your spirit up, your heart up to source or God or something higher than yourself. And that's what happened to me. I experienced tremendous loss after I chose to divorce my ex-husband after 27 years, and I was just shocked at at the situation I found myself in, you
Mhm.
know, and but proud of myself that I had the courage to escape it. But it wasn't until I lost a child, that an adult child, to parental alienation, that my whole world just came crashing down. And even though I was moving in a great direction, I was moving to the Caribbean, I was retiring from my career as a teacher. I was a special ed teacher in the Chicago suburbs for 35 years. And 12 of those years, I was an adjunct professor at Northern Illinois University. And so I had like a good um, kind of strength within me anyway. But when parental alienation hit me, and I realized, whoa, even though I had a very close relationship with one of my children for 20 years, it just was severed. And now it's been at least 6 years. And it's I don't want to go into it too much here. People can look up parental alienation, but it wasn't until that happened to me that I really was open and ready for signs from the universe. And so, even though there was a lot of darkness, a great deal of light came as a result.
That's awesome. Love
Yeah.
it. I love it. I was married for 24 years and I divorced my husband and I lost a baby. So
Oh,
I delivered a stillborn baby, so I can kind of relate a little bit. I know it's not the same as losing an adult child, but it seems like you and I have some similarities in, birth and death.
right,
So,
right.
and,
But we
and
really find what we're made of. We're made of a lot of strength. And, if you are someone that lives with integrity, believes in honesty and goodness, um, even if things are still thrown at you, like, when not all divorces are as ugly as mine was, but um, there's so many. It seems like once you escape an abusive situation, the abuse ramps up, and you have to really be vigilant. And you lose everything. I mean, most people lose their houses, all their money, all their possessions. Many lose their children. In this kind of situation. But at the same time, losing everything um, puts things in perspective of what's really, really important. And living in light and love is what I think it's all about. And luckily, I'm in a gorgeous locale with a wonderful life partner. We enjoy a beautiful life here, and I'm pursuing my interests. Um, I always liked to write, but I had no idea that I loved to write. And so,
Ah, that's
yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
So so it's all good. And I believe that the universe will provide, and the truth will come out. The truth, justice doesn't always prevail, but truth does. And hopefully it'll be in this lifetime that I'll be reunited. But if not, I have to realize that's someone else's journey to go on. That's not my journey. I'm living my journey now.
That's excellent. So what do you do now? Now that you're living on the island and everything?
Right. Well, still, travel, of course. I love world travel. That was put on hold for the past year, but that's picking up again. So I have a lot of great travel plans. In fact, I'm going to, with bLU Talks, with this book, I'm going to be speaking at Columbia University this spring. So I just
Oh,
made all those travel plans. Hopefully that'll all pan
yeah.
out. I think
Yeah.
it will. I think it will. Um, I do a lot of gardening. I spend a lot of time in nature. I would say every day I'm in the ocean. Um, even if it's just for an hour, sometimes it's longer, but I spend time in nature at the beach doing a lot of reflecting. And then I'm continuing to write. I finished now. I have 5 books under my belt. I have different podcast interviews that I've been asked to be on. I have a book signing in a week or so. And I'm currently working on a book of poetry. So just like um, artists who dabble in different mediums, like they might paint, they might do watercolor, they might do sketches, they might write lyrics to music. I'm kind of dabbling in some different writing genres. And so I'm really having a great time with poetry right now.
Oh, that's excellent. I'm a writer, 7-time best-selling author, and
Wow.
poetry is one thing I just can't get into. I don't know. I just don't have an appreciation for it, but that's
Well,
awesome.
but poetry, I started out with acrostic poetry because when I taught high school, that was a very easy thing to get students involved in. And acrostic poetry is where you write the word vertically, and
Yeah.
then you attach letters or words or sentences to that. But that one thing led to another, and now I'm doing a lot of alliteration and different types of poetry. So, and it's helping me um, just express thoughts and observations and feelings, and it's a real healthy way of dealing with everyday issues and challenges.
That's excellent. Love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
So, what are your plans for the future? What's next for you?
Well, gosh, right now more of the same as far as just living a beautiful life on an island and traveling and writing. And I've been asked to teach a couple writing workshops, so I might get into that. Even though I had retired from teaching, I might do that. So I just am open to what the world will put in front of me. I have a great ability to reach out and connect with people, just everyday people on the street or at the beach or something like that. And I find those connections are pretty amazing. And I learn from other people. And so I just am kind of like a sponge, just open for great experiences.
That's excellent. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, do you have any words of wisdom that you'd like to share with the audience?
Sure, sure. Well, when I think about my story in bLU Talks with going from atheist to believer, I think a real big message that comes across, hopefully, in my essay, in my chapter, is that when life hands you challenges, and we sure have had our share of challenges this past year. When life hands you challenges, realize that you don't have to be responsible for other people and how they respond to things. You can only control yourself and how you choose to look at life and respond to things. So I would say that to your listeners, people that are experiencing challenges in any way, step back a little bit, reflect, see what your role is in that. And sometimes you have to just let go of situations and people. Like, for example, I had a very, very close friend that I believed was a lifelong friend that I would have forever. And this past year, along with a lot of other toxic situations, I looked at the situation for what it really was. There was a lot of trauma bond in there. And I just chose to let go, which is so unlike me. I am someone that would stick it out. I mean, if I stayed married 27 years to an abuser, I try to stick it out and find the good and take on the ownership and responsibility of things. But I've learned this year that it's very healthy to let go of what doesn't serve you. And that's not in a selfish way, but it's like if someone is toxic and bringing negativity, and then when you find out that people like this good friend is very dishonest and deceitful and all that, I don't want any part to do with that. I'm someone that has always valued honesty. That's a big core value of mine. And so it wasn't as hard as I thought to walk away from dishonesty. And
Good.
so I would say, like, to people, any challenge that you have, sit back and take a look at it, meditate on it, spend some time in quiet reflection, and think about your own goals and who you are as a person, at your core. And think about what is good for you, and let go of what is not. And you'll be amazed that the universe will start surrounding you with people and situations that are for your higher good.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. A lot of times people see a tragedy as a tragedy, but not as a gift. And that is something that I've had to learn over the years, even
Yeah.
like when I lost my baby. It's like, that's so tragic. It was probably worse than me, getting burnt as a 2-year-old.
Right.
Losing a baby was probably the worst thing in my whole life, even worse than my divorce.
Right.
And the but the gift in it is that we ended up having twin boys.
Oh, that's
And
wonderful.
then we never would have had the twin boys if
Right.
we would have had her. We would have just stayed with 2 girls.
Right.
And so, it's easy to see things as a tragedy, or you can see it as a gift.
Right. And that's key, like even in our world situation right now, so many people are very, very upset at the corruption and dishonesty and just the situation that's here at hand that our world is having to face. And there's a lot of fear. Fear is a big
Yeah,
factor in affecting our, how even our health. Fear can affect our health.
totally.
But you know what? Goodness can come out of the darkness, and you are a living testament to that. I have admired your work. I have read your numerous best-selling books, and
Oh,
I have. You just are such a light for so many people, um, and I'm so glad that our paths crossed with the Blue Talks community because, we all can learn from each other, and if we can inspire just even one person to put their foot in front of the other and carry on, then we've done a beautiful thing.
I totally agree with you. And on Christmas Day, our local TV station, Global TV, named me and Spencer Beach two of the most inspirational people in Alberta of 2020.
Oh my God. Wonderful.
I
Wonderful.
know, right?
Yeah.
It was cool. It was like
Well,
what?
well deserved, though. Well deserved. And I'm glad that you're not
Yeah,
afraid to share that. A lot of people, especially empathetic, loving, caring people, don't ever like to toot their own horn. But I am so glad that you brought that up because that is such a well deserved honor. It really is. And you have
yeah, yeah.
inspired. Well, you inspired me, but you've inspired countless people. And I hope with my writing or just my living my life and surviving domestic violence and narcissist abuse and parental alienation, I can provide some inspiration to other moms and dads
Yeah,
that are going through the same kind of horrific life
yeah.
situation. Our heart breaks, not so much for us. I mean, it does, it's challenging for us, but oh, for our children, the fact that they've got so many challenges ahead of them when the light bulb goes on and they realize the truth.
Yeah. Well, and what I wanted to say was tie into what you were talking about impacting people was that when I went back and watched the interview that they had played on TV, I had talked about me being the Scarface girl. And right after that, they showed a clip of she's probably 9 or 10 years old, a little girl, who said, I now feel beautiful about myself.
Yeah, wonderful.
And
So
that
you
meant
changed
more
that
to me.
person's life.
Yeah, that little girl. And I mean, to me, that is my purpose. That's why I'm on earth.
Yeah,
And that's why I got burned. That's why been through all the challenges that I've been through is so that I can share the knowledge so that I can help people to feel beautiful.
right.
And there's more to it than that, but
Sure,
that's
sure.
a big part of it. And so to me, it wasn't about me winning the award. It was about that little girl
Mhm.
going on TV and saying, I now feel beautiful.
And that can all have a ripple effect because she then will impact other people, and so on and so on and so on, so the reach that you have with the award that you won, or the award that I won for my spiritual novel God Came to My Garage Sale, that can all have a ripple effect and really
Absolutely.
impact people's lives, just like James Redfield endorsing me impacted my life and gave me a little bit more notice. It connected me to Corey, which impacted my life and my travel plans now, so.
Exactly. I love it. I know. That's what I love about the universe is how we can all connect with each other and bring our lives and our journey together and see it as a journey,
Right,
not just this happened to me and this is poor me because I've had this
right,
happen to me, right? It's all about what we do with our journey. And
right.
that's what I love about, your story. And I want to get your other book too, because I want to read it. I can't wait to read that. So we are going to wrap up.
Okay.
Again, we're talking about the Blue Talks book. Whoops, I can
Yep,
never know.
yep.
And this is actually the first version. So there is number 2 and number 3. We're launching right now. And we want to make it a best-selling book. And it's full of awesome stories like Dr. Marni's story and all these incredible stories that have to do with business, life, and the universe. So if you'd like to purchase the book, I'm going to drop the link in the comments. And we would love for you to get a copy in your hand because we know you're going to be so inspired.
It
So
is very inspirational. In fact, if you buy the set of 3, there's a big discount. I
there
know you
is.
have.
There's a big discount.
Yeah, you have different packages of buying books individually or in a pair, but buying the 3, it's all very reasonably priced too. And for what you get, it's almost like sitting in on like 100 different podcasts just by reading those one of the books or three of the books.
That's
So
right.
I'm just thrilled to be part of it, and I'm so thrilled to have met you, and you have inspired me so much,
Well,
Kelly.
thank you. Thank you. And I'm glad that you and I get to connect in a deeper way. So let's stay in touch because
Will do.
and
And,
I'm going to,
and private message me, your friend in St.
yes, I will. I
It's a
will.
small island. We a lot of people know each other, so
And maybe you guys already do know each other.
right,
Who knows?
right, definitely.
Great.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to interview me and talk with me about my chapter.
You
And
are very welcome. Thank you for joining in.
yeah, sure. Have a great day.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Okay, take care.